Hey guys, welcome to Chaos Unfiltered. I'm your host, Abby. And since it's still the month of January, I feel like it's appropriate to talk about New Year's resolutions and New Year's resolutioners. For me personally, I have a love hate relationship with New Year's resolutions. I feel like they can be great, but I also just feel like people make them all the time and they just don't stick to them. And that's why I don't like them. I think also New Year's resolutions shouldn't just be New Year's resolutions, right? Like they should be done whenever. Like if you have a goal you want to achieve, start it then. Start it in April, start it in September. Start it when you think about it. Why is it at the beginning of the year we decide to change who we are with the whole saying, New Year, New Me? That is so bullshit. I hate that saying. There's no New Year, New Me. It is great to kind of like upgrade yourself and become a better version of yourself, but it's not a new you. You're doing what you feel is best for you. I just feel like using the new year is just an excuse for people. I also think just New Year's resolutions, like I said, people give up so easily. You have to be disciplined to accomplish any goal in life. And I think that is something super important that people miss a lot is just staying disciplined. You got to do it when you're tired. You have to do it when you're stressed out. You have to get up and do it every single day. And that is the only way you're going to accomplish your goals in life is to get up and do it no matter how you are feeling, no matter what is going on in the world. You have to get up and fucking do it. For me, I don't do like New Year's resolutions. I do a bingo board, which you might have seen. I'll attach mine so you can look at mine. I've done it for the last 2 years. It's pretty fun. I like the bingo boards more because one, it gives me a visual so I know what my goals are, right? What I'm aiming to work towards. I also think for me, I don't use my bingo board as like crazy big goals. A lot of them are short-term goals. They have to be achievable within a year, right? Some of them might be a little outrageous, but most of them can be achieved if I set my mind to it. And I think that's something really important is that a lot of New Year's resolutions are taken and they're made huge. You have this huge idea, like I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week, but I've never once gone to the gym in my life. That's just so crazy to me. Like you're honestly setting yourself up for failure because if you've never been to the gym, if you've never done whatever your goal is, giving yourself such a hard goal is setting yourself up for failure. You're going to lose interest. You're not going to contact the reinforcement quick enough, and you're not going to feel accomplished. You're going to feel like you're not reaching your goal, so you're going to give up. That is something I feel like is so important is that you have to make your goals realistic, right? If you've never been to the gym, you probably shouldn't start at going to the gym 5 days a week. You should probably maybe start going 2 days or, just going for some walks outside, whatever you're comfortable with, right? And then once you start doing that consistently, you can start building on that, going 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. I mean, that's the same for anything. Like, I know reading is a big goal for a lot of people too, of like, I want to read a certain amount of books. That's great. If you've never read a book, your goal should probably not be to read 20 or 50 books in a year. You should probably start like maybe 10, maybe 12. A book a month seems pretty easy, but I'm a big reader, so of course it's easy for me. But if you're going to set a goal that's so unachievable unless you really push yourself hard, you're just setting yourself up for failure and you're not going to reach those goals, and that just makes you feel worse about yourself. You're like, oh man, I didn't accomplish what I want to accomplish. You have to set those short-term goals to really get to where you want to be, to set that long-term goal. You can have long-term goals, but it shouldn't be your first New Year's resolution. You should be starting small and then working your way up to the long-term goal, right? Something I also searched up was just how easily people give up on it. 23% of people give up their New Year's resolutions within the first 7 days. And I really do think that comes down to the discipline aspect. If you aren't going to be disciplined to reach that goal, you're not going to reach it. Your friends and family sure can check on you, can push you, but you have to want to do it yourself. No one can force you to do it. You have to want to do it. And I also read that 64% of people give up on their goals by the end of January. So it just takes a month to give up. And for me, I feel like that's so crazy. I mean, again, it comes down to the discipline. It comes down to probably how you're setting your goal, if you're making it realistic, if you're setting too many goals even. Like, I know I do the bingo board, but they're all different types of goals. So, like, I have reading a certain number of books, saving money, going to sporting events. I also make my goals fun, right? Like, they don't all have to be just financial, trying to be healthier. Like, those are great goals. But you also have to have those fun goals too. Like, I have going on 3 trips this year because that's something fun to look forward to that can also reward me, but it also feels like I'm accomplishing my goals. And I think that is so fucking important. And the thing with the bingo board is too that you can also contact reinforcement more frequently because you're also supposed to, every time you make a bingo, you give yourself a little reward. Like, oh, maybe I can buy a new pair of shoes. Maybe I can go get my favorite ice cream. Depending on how many bingos you have, stuff like that. You can earn those rewards. I've never done it that way. I honestly think for me, my reward is reaching those goals. I think that is what works for me. That's where I find my reinforcement. But it's different for everybody, right? And sometimes, especially if you're making your goals less fun and more work-oriented, health-oriented, education-oriented, finances, those things aren't super fun and rewarding within themselves. So if you are then rewarding yourself by meeting those goals, you're gonna want to meet those goals more. And I think that is very important to do. So I think it honestly depends on what goals you're setting to go about how to reach your New Year's resolution, right? I think New Year's resolutions can be amazing if people just stuck with them. And that's the problem I have with New Year's resolutions is just people give up so easily. I was in the gym at the beginning of the year, obviously. It was so crowded, so busy. I was annoyed. Everybody that goes to the gym consistently hates the beginning of the year because it is so overcrowded. And you're like, okay, give it a month, give it 2 months. By February, this place is back to how it was supposed to be. It literally, a week later, I went to the gym the same time, 4:30, which is a super busy time to go to the gym, basically dead. I could have gotten any leg machine I wanted to and wouldn't had to have waited. And that is so crazy to me. I was like, it has been a week. And maybe it was just like a random day and that's why no one was there. Who knows? But I can already tell, being 19 days into the new year, the gym is already less busy. And I think it also is just pushing yourself, knowing that you have to do it for yourself. Why do you want to do that? For me, the bingo board is so good for me because it's a visual. It shows me what I'm working towards instead of just saying in your head, oh, I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week. But why? Why do you want to go to the gym 5 days a week? Like vision boards. I used to do vision boards and I used to love a vision board because you could just hang that on your wall. It's fun because it's arts and crafts. You can have fun while making it. You hang it on your wall and you look at it every day. You look at what you're trying to achieve. And I think that visual just helps remind you why you're pushing for your goals. And I also want to say, it's hard at first to change a routine, to get into a different routine. That's why New Year's resolutions are so hard to accomplish, is because you're trying to fight and break bad habits, old habits that you're trying to change, right? So if you keep pushing yourself, at some point it's just a routine and it's no longer hard. You're just like, okay, after work I'm going to the gym. It sucks right now, but in a month, 2 months, it's really not that big of a deal. You're just like, oh yeah, this is just my normal. I wake up, I go to work, I go to the gym, I go home, and I make dinner, right? Like, that's how it used to be for me, is I consistently always knew I'm going to the gym, I'm doing this. And I got off of that, and it's okay to kind of break your routine sometimes, but it is hard once you break your routine to get back into the routine. I'm still working on that, and I'm working on other personal goals of just doing things and going to the gym alone. Like, I was consistent in the gym, but I always had someone to go with me. And if someone didn't go with me, I wasn't going. So I kind of got in a bad habit there. But off of the tangent of bad habits, because I could make a whole nother podcast about that. New Year's resolutions don't have to be bad. They don't have to. I kind of think they're overrated. But they can be good. I just honestly think you have to make those goals realistic. And I also think build on those goals rather than making the long-term goals first. Build on the short-term goals. Reach those, and you'll feel so much more accomplished that you're going to reach those bigger goals that you didn't even think you would get to. And honestly, my biggest piece of advice is to just stick with your goals. Push through it. Now, obviously, if you try something, like if you were like, oh, I want to do Pilates, and you try Pilates for a month, and you're like, this absolutely sucks. That's fine. Like, it's okay to give up on your resolutions and not follow through if you actually don't like it. But if it just comes down to it's too hard, you don't want to do it, it's easier to go back into those bad habits, stick with it, because it won't be hard at some point once you get into the routine. So, I mean, if you have New Year's resolutions, I hope you stick with it. I hope you meet those goals. If you don't have some New Year's resolutions, I recommend doing the bingo board. I think it's so much fun. All of my friends do it. And it's also fun to make similar goals so you can achieve them with your friends also. Thanks for listening to this episode of Chaos Unfiltered, and I hope you tune in for the next episode. Thank you.